it's Rhonda here from Nelson Soapery. I hope you are all having an absolutely amazing day, and a big thank you for tuning in to me today. So what I'm going to be making is this really fun soap that I woke up dreaming about. So it's all about rainbows that are going to be done in a beautiful ombre type rainbow idea, and then I do have a little cloud in bed that I'm going to just pop into halfway up the middle just to add a little bit of a cloud, and we'll see how we go. So this is a total new recipe. I will pop my new recipe down the bottom for you. This one will definitely set up a lot harder than some of my other ones because I was kind of feeling like I had a lot of liquid oils in, and I needed to up my hard oils, which really will make a better and more long lasting sort of bar. But anyway, like I said, this is what we're doing today. So to start with this recipe, we're going to be starting with our lye and our water. So our water content for this one is going to be 281 grams. And then we're going to be adding in the lye, which is 172 grams of the lye. All of the measurements I give you will be in grams because I'm in Australia and predominantly we use grams. And then after that, because I have done a heat transfer method here, I'm going to be adding in my hard oils. So I have a certified palm and also my coconut oils, and they are both 249 grams plus 125 grams, of my shea butter that I'm adding in. And now you can see that I'm actually just adding in some titanium into this little bit here just to give it a bit of a light feel, because the olive oil that I decided to use was extra virgin olive oil, which does have more of a greeny kind of tinge to it. So the titanium dioxide has been pre-mixed with some water. I think I have about 1/4 cup of water. I didn't put the whole lot in. I just put what I thought I needed. And so my liquid ingredients into this one, as I said, so the extra virgin olive oil, there's 499 grams of that. And then I have castor oil, 37 grams, which is only a couple percent in this recipe because I just didn't feel that I really needed so much castor oil. And castor oil, you should really try and keep that under 5% because otherwise your bar can be oily over time and it just feels yuck, and it can actually sort of get a really weird smell to it as well. So anyway, so like I said, that's my main reason. And my very last thing is 87 grams of sweet almond oil, but I will pop it all down in the description below. And now what you can see me doing is I blended it all up just to a very light to medium trace, like a very light medium, I should say. And then I'm going to divide this into 8 containers because I do have 8 colours that I'm going to be using. And I have already pre-mixed up my colours. So the colours I'm using, they are actually a mica. And then all I'm doing is going to be pre-mixing that mica in with 2 tablespoons of sweet almond oil. And, do make sure that you pre-mix your colours and don't just pop them in, because we don't want to be blending this with a blender because we want it to stay as light a trace as we can possibly get. So anyway, like I said, we'll keep going with this one and I'll pop it all in here and you will see me mixing all the colours one by one, and then I'll come back in a minute to explain a little bit more. So I did just show you the colours on screen a moment ago, so I'll tell you what they are in just a moment. And then I'm going to be using 2 of the same mould. These ones are a brambleberry mould that I did get from Aussie candle supplies. But the one thing that I can say is, although they're a really good size mould, they're a bit of a pain to actually get the soap out. So you do need to add the sodium lactate, which I have actually added 2 tablespoons to the full mix. Which works out to be about 1% of the mixture, roughly 1 to 1.5%. Because honestly, without the sodium lactate, it's really hard to get out of these molds because they're not as flexible as some of the other molds. So the colors that we're using today in this one here is called Smurfy Blue from Sud Off. Then I also have one that's called One in a Lemon, which is the yellow one, also from Sud Off. These are cosmetic grade micas as well. Then I do have another one called Blazing Red, and that is also from Sud Off. Then I've used one called Safron, and Safron is a lip safe and cosmetic safe one, and that one is from Aussie Candle Supplies. Then Crystaline Teal, that is from Sud Off. Jungle Green Mica, that one is from Aussie Candle Supplies. And then I do have Lipstick Pink, also from Sud Off, and then Into the Blue from Sud Off as well. So there is a lot that we're going to be adding into here. So to start off this, the only thing that you need to remember for this thing is just do one particular container at a time. Do not add in your fragrance until you're actually working on that particular one. So you can see I've just pre-mixed it, divided it into the containers, and I didn't add in colors or anything like that until I was ready to use it. So for the first one, we're starting off with the Blazing Red, and all I'm doing is adding 1 teaspoon of mixture at a time. I mix it really, really well, and then I'm going to be pouring it down the side of the mold, and then I'll add another teaspoon and keep going until I'm pretty close to running out of these colours. And what I did at the very end of each container is left a tiny bit in, because that way I could do the piping on the top and the colours would be consistent with the soap and really match and make it look beautiful. So what I've done as well, so that my soap batter doesn't come to trace too fast or doesn't thicken up too fast, I'm doing this in 2 batches. So the first one, we're going to do the bottom half of both of the boxes, and then we'll come back to do the top part. You could do it all in one go, but I didn't want to do that. I was really, really concerned that it would set up too fast. So this was definitely my way of trying to eliminate that and trying to stop that kind of side of this. But anyway, like I said, it did work out really well, and I'm really glad that I've done it the way that I have. So anyway, like I said, we'll just keep going with this, and then once and it doesn't matter the colors that you choose. So choose colors that are light and bright, of course, but it doesn't matter the order you put them in. Don't worry too much about the order. Just do whatever you like and let your creativity just flow across. And so you'll also notice when I'm pouring it, I just pour up one end and back the other end, and that's it. And then I actually just take it off. So try and be neat and try and do each layer exactly the same amount per each layer, if that makes sense. But like I said, it's all about being creative and it's all about being fun. So I'll let you watch me continue putting all this together and making this gorgeous ombre rainbow. So next I decide to use this beautiful yellow, which is called One in a Lemon. And like I said, it is a cosmetic grade from Sud Off in Australia. So just check out their website, which is www.sudoff.com.au, and you can see all their gorgeous micas, and they have some other really fun projects and things as well. So, and like I said, this is the one I've chosen to use. I've used it a couple times and it's a really great yellow, but yellow just does have that tendency to morph and turn into like an ugly mustard colour, but it will come back into its beautiful buttercup kind of yellow later on, and it is a really good one for this. You know, if you really wanted this to be bright, you could definitely pop it in the oven or put it on a heating pad to try and force the gelling of this. I never forced gelling in mine. I'm just honestly not keen on it, and it's something that I've just never really bothered, but maybe one day I will. And you would have seen me just behind the desk there. I'm just popping all the containers down so that they're all going to have a tiny bit left for my piping at the end. So here I am doing the blue, and I decided with this one, I decided just to let the film keep going and just filming the whole lot. So often what I do is edit it and cut bits out and so on. Like I have cut a few bits out, but generally I didn't. I've literally just let the camera keep rolling, because I think it's good for you to also see like a time frame, because this soap honestly took hours and hours and hours to make in between. So I think that's the thing, that when you're making something that's so elaborate like this, you really do need to leave quite a lot of time. And also you'll notice that I'm only adding a tiny bit of fragrance in each go. I know it looks like I've got this massive big bottle and I'm just free pouring it, but I'm not. I have actually measured it the right amount, and I actually just left it in the bottle. So if anything, I have less rather than more in this one, and I only wanted to give it a real tinge of the peony that I'm using. So the one that I'm using in this, I use quite often, this fragrance. It's from Aussie Candle Supplies, and it's called Pink Peony. It's a really, really good one. It doesn't accelerate. If anything, it actually stops acceleration and it will really slow it down. So that's the idea too of why I didn't put all the fragrance in the others and leave them, because if it was getting a bit thick, this would actually stop it getting thick as well, which was definitely something that you really want when you're making something with so many layers like this one here. But as you can see, we'll just keep going with all the different colours. You know, like I said, we've got some blues and teals, some yellows, some reds, some pinks, some greens. And I think all those colours do make a really, really happy soap. But once we've done the first half of the bottom layers, then I'm just going to be popping in my embed, which is like a little cloud. If I did this one again, I think next time I would probably add a couple clouds, not just one, because I did feel like one kind of just sat in the middle a bit, but it broke up the colours as well. So it was good in that way. Also, you could do a rainbow where you could leave white in the middle, or you could have white at the bottom and top to represent clouds or some fog, and then the rainbow in the middle. But it's just a choice, isn't it, depending on how much work you want to do with these particular ones. But if you're going to do something as elaborate as this as well, I really do suggest that you make 2 of them at the same time, because there's no good going to hours and hours of work and then you only have 6 soaps to sell, because obviously that wouldn't pay you back for your time and all the effort and so on. But anyway, I will leave the links for the fragrance below, the colours below, and everything that I've used here. I'll try to add all those in, which I always do try and add them in, and then we'll go from there. One thing that I'm not sure whether I said earlier is when you're actually doing these particular colours and rainbows, and also when you're doing like an ombre, you need to keep the soap box on the side. So you can see that I propped it up, and underneath I have like another silicone mould which is just holding it up. But if you want it to be flat in between, you can even just hold it on that angle and then slide it back flat once you've done that one, and continue with each particular mould, because you just want to literally go along down the side of each particular one. So, you just want to run the soap down the side of the mould, at the front of the side, I should say. And then that way it gives a really clean line. I know also you're going to laugh that I've made such a mess here on the table. I do clean it in between, but honestly, it's a really messy job, soap making, and I like to keep it real and show you this is exactly what it's like to be a soaper. And this is my full-time job. This is all I do for a full-time job, is literally making soaps and bath bombs and creams and candles and lots of my other gorgeous products. So if you do want to go and have a look on my website, make sure you pop over there, which is www.nelsonsoapery.com. and have a look at everything that I do. And we do send things to the US and of course all around Australia and the world. The only place I cannot send soap is to the UK, because their assessments and their laws differ quite a lot from ours in Australia. But I am insured and registered with our health department here, so everything I do is done the way that it needs to be done. And then I also do have a file that I continuously update on my computer, and that has all batch numbers and certification details of all the products I'm using per each particular batch. So if you're in Australia and you're making soap, you really do need to do that. So there's nothing exciting about it. All you need to do is just open up a spreadsheet for yourself, and you need to write the date that you're making it, the ingredients that you're using, the amounts that are in the ingredients, your fragrances, and so on, a cure time that you've left it to cure prior to selling. So they're just something you need to do. And of course, give it a batch number. It can be your own unique batch number. For me, I always start mine with the year we're in. So we're in 2021, so mine will be, for instance, 2021-01 for the first soap that I made of the year, and then I continue going that. So once we get to next year, mine will change. They will flip over and it will start to say 2022-01, and we'll start again. But anyway, that's just a little bit of an idea on how you can keep some recordings of your soap. And I mean, you may never need to worry too much about it, but if somebody ever complains, you really do need to make sure that you have everything set aside, and at least your batch numbers and things like that, just to protect yourself a little bit, because we are making things that are going on people's bodies. And the one thing to remember is some people are really sensitive to soap and other people are not. I do get asked a lot of different questions about soap, whether it's certified, whether I'm registered, do I have insurance? I get asked lots of these questions, especially at markets, but most people know me now and they know that I definitely am registered and and have all of the details that I need to legally have. But do speak to the Australian tax office if you're a business, or you can also go onto the health department, and that's where you need to register, or ASIC if you're in Australia. I'm sure if you're in another country you would have a similar body or business corporation that you could talk to. But do make sure you check up on everything with your own lawyer. I'm not a lawyer, so little disclaimer there. I'm definitely not a lawyer. I just give advice as a soap maker and what has worked for me. Now look at this absolute mess I am making everywhere on the bench. Honestly, after doing this, it took me so long to keep cleaning everything because, as we all know, soap is an oil-based and it just is so messy. But it's also probably me being the messy one as well, because I'm definitely a messy soaper. But, you know, in the end, it doesn't matter, does it? Because we're going to take it out of the mold and we all have to clean up, regardless of whether it's, you know, cleaning up now or cleaning up as you go along. It's definitely is just the way to do it. If you're wondering, also, my little container that I have to the side there with all of the soaps, the colours for the soaps in them, all that is at my local supermarket, they sell these little baby tennis balls, and in it they actually throw away the plastic container. So I've asked them a few times, can I actually have it? And they're like, yes. And now they actually save them for me. And the great thing about these ones is they fit your large bath bombs. So I actually now sit my large bath bombs in them to dry. So, you know, always be looking for things like that. You can actually get things like that for free that shops are going to just literally throw it in the garbage. So like I said, if you talk to your local supermarket, they might even save you some. The lovely girls at my local Woolies actually save them for me now. Or if I go past them on the shelf, I just say, oh, look, can I have that one that, you know, they're all being used now, and they're happy to get rid of it because it saves them throwing it out. So anyway, that's what I've done. But you can also use like a little artist's palette that have the little sort of half circle scoops in them as well to mix it when you're doing lots of these colours. But you could easily do this design with, you know, half the amount of colours. I just decided to be adventurous and make it super fun and keep going. But anyway, I'm sure that, you know, you'll see what I'm doing, and I really hope you guys all have a little look. And make sure you message me as well, because I'd love to see how you're actually doing your own soaps and how this sort of works out for all of you. Also, if any of you want to go onto my social media, there will be links in the top of my YouTube channel. So just click onto that and you can join that and share it if you would like. And I do often put a little video or just some little things also onto my Instagram or Facebook. I don't place images and things every single day because I just don't have time to do that. But TikTok is where I do usually short videos and so on. But anyway, like I said, just join on to all my social media if you like. And then we can all support each other, and make sure you tell me your social medias, and I'll have a look at them as well. So I'm almost at the end of these colours now, ending in this beautiful teal colour. And so now I'm going to organise the embed, which, like I said earlier, it's a cloud embed. I actually did get that mould from Aussie Candle Supplies. So just go on there, and they have heaps of moulds on there as well. And then all I'm going to do is just roughly place it in. Like I said, you know, I really did think, oh, you know, I should have let the mixture dry a little bit. I think it was a little wet. It would have been better if it was a bit better, because I really wanted that cloud to sit higher in the mold. But anyway, it doesn't matter. It still does look really, really sweet, and it's really a lovely mold. So I'll definitely be using this one again. I do have quite a lot of these longer molds, and they're definitely worth it. If you do a lot of sort of fun and creative soaps like I do, they're definitely something that is really nice and fun to pop in them. But anyway, we'll pop this in, and now we have totally finished on this bottom layer. So what I'm going to do is the little bit of mixture that I have left over, what I'm going to do is organise some plastic sleeve and pop it in that, and then that will actually be for my piping at the end of this one as well. And then also after that, what I'm going to do is make another mixture, so then we can start the next process of adding all the colours again on top. So here we are, starting the whole process again. Now, if you're wondering why the top of my molds do have an orangey colour on them, or the mixture, I've actually done just a really light spray of a gold Aztec mica, because what I wanted to do is just have a really thin line in the middle. I'm not sure how this one's going to work, but I thought, look, we'll just put this one in the middle. And I did actually think in between the layers it would have been cute if I had have added a silver or a gold just to break that kind of soap. But anyway, it doesn't matter. I didn't do that. But for this one, I just decided to do this in the middle. And now I'm going to do the exact process that I have done at the start. And basically what it is just mixing the colours, and once again, just going down the side. So each colour, as you've seen this one here, so basically I started with my main colour, put a teaspoon of my coloured mixture, mixed it together, then I pour 2 lines, then I come back again to the mixture, add another teaspoon, and so on. And I usually add about 3 teaspoons in between different times. You know what I mean, and of course, and then just keep going that way. So try and do at least 3 if you want the ombre cloud look in between each one. And what I'm mixing it with here, this is just a little plastic palette knife. I thought this was a bit easier than, you know, my big spatula spoon, because that did get quite messy doing so many colours. And but anyway, as you can see, we're just going to keep going with this one. So I'll let you watch along and pop some music on, and then I'll come back in a moment. once again, I'm just going to continue adding in all of my colours. You'll notice more with this one, what I've actually done is I started to just put the moulds on a bit of an angle. I poured them and then I would lay them flat again so that the mixture was getting more flat, because obviously I'm getting to the opposite side of this mould. So what was actually happening was I was having too much on one side and nothing on the other. And of course I wanted to keep going with this one and making sure that all of the colours created that beautiful rainbow sort of ombre colour. But you know, I always think with every soap you do, you really do live and learn on your soaps, don't you? And what I often do with mine is I will have one that might, for instance, be called Pink Peony Soap, and then the next one it might be Pink Peony 2. So then people will actually know that yes, it is the same soap, but they'll actually just know that it's a different batch, because none of them are going to look exactly the same. And it's really important that you do tell your customers, or you do put a disclaimer on your website to say that it's handmade and no bar of soap will be exactly the same, because you'll be amazed the amount of people that will say, oh, you know, I really would like the swirl that's in that other one over there, and they just don't understand that that's not how it works. Soap is free falling and it just falls as it is. We do try and control it, but we can't control the way every single bit of soap moves. But anyway, I'll let you watch all this one and I'll pop some music on like I did before, because I think it's just nice and relaxing for you to see me do all the colours without me talking the whole time. And then I'll come back at the end to show you the results on how we're going. I tried to keep it clean and clean this up for you guys as well. But, you know, as I said, I'm messy, and I'm sure you can appreciate in this. Altogether, I had 16 containers of colours from the start to the end. So it was just crazy with all the amount, and nobody loved me in my house at the end of the day when I brought all the dishes back in to clean them up and pop them in the dishwasher. So now we're nearing the end. I'm sure that you can see what I was talking about at the start, like with the colours and how beautiful they're looking. They're really calming and nice, and that's why I decided to do this ombre rather than have that really, you know, tough kind of striking rainbow line. I just wanted it to look really muted like a rainbow, because if you look at a rainbow, it's usually not one colour. It does actually look a little fuzzy and a little bit almost ombre as the colours, you know, sort of divide into each other. So that's why I decided to do it this way instead. And I think the green might be my last one on the top. I can't quite remember. But yeah, so then I just thought, look, we'll just keep these ones going. And I'm really glad that I ended up doing 2 loaves. I think I must have got about 8 to 9 bars out of each loaf. And then I also had the ends, and I cut those up because they will be my samples. So with my samples, I actually do give them away with each order. And even when I'm at a market at Mornington or Yarra Glen, I actually like to go to my markets and just show everybody exactly what I'm doing and give them a sample as well. So it does keep people interested. Or if there's a child that's really crying and having a tantrum, I often give them like a little soap or a bath bomb or something for free. You know, you always have the ones that are broken or half a bath bomb or something. So yeah, I often give that out, and lots of mums really do appreciate it. But I always tell them I'm a mum, so I know what that's like when you're trying to control a child that just wants everything and you've spent all your money for the day. So anyway, like I said, there's things that you can do like that. But for here, we'll keep going with this bit here. And then once I've finished, I'll definitely show you how beautiful it looks and how the colours come together, because the colours did really come together quite well, as I'm sure you can agree. Yay, it's finally done. So look how gorgeous this one looks with all of these colours. Like I said, this was a real labour of love, just took so long, really it did. And in the piping bag here, this is from when I've actually mixed all my colours together, the bits that I had left over, and then I just decided to do this particular, you know, like a little circle. These particular, it's sort of like I guess a modern rose circle. This particular pattern that I'm doing is a standard closed star tip, and you'll see them on lots and lots of cupcakes, which are nice and fun. But it's really important that you just hold the piping bag up straight in the air and go around a couple times and just neaten them off. I just thought I'll just do this randomly, and then I've popped on some pre-made embeds that I've also done, and everything on here is going to be soap. Although I think I did sprinkle maybe a little bit of dry leaves or something on the top. I think I might have put some corn flour on at the end. I can't remember. But generally, even the sprinkles that I put on, I try and put a lot of sprinkles now that are made in soap or embeds or soap confetti, because you don't want to be adding in lots of sugars and things. A lot of people do not like that, and they really don't want to buy it without that. If you have any sugars or candies or anything on top, you do need to write "this is not food" very clearly on it, because you don't want a child to pick that off and eat it. But anyway, you've watched me here, and like I said, we'll keep doing the top of this. We'll make it all beautiful, and then I'll come back at the end to show you the cutting of this soap. Alright, so we're totally finished now. So the last thing to do is get this gorgeous biodegradable glitter, and then we're just going to be popping it over the top. I only use biodegradable glitter on all of my soaps because that way it goes down the drain and it won't hurt the drain or the environment. And then we've done all these. Make sure you do spray it with isopropyl at the end because that will stop that dreaded, white kind of filmy look that you'll see on the top of them sometimes. And we don't want that on the soap. But next we'll cut it and you can see exactly how beautiful the inside is. Hey everyone, it's Rhonda here and I'm back again. It's been about 28 hours, I think, since we made the soap, and I thought I would actually bring it to you to show you what we actually did yesterday. So here is the gorgeous ombre soap. This is the ombre rainbow. So this is actually has 8 colors in it that I have actually used in total. So and you can see I've kind of gone a slope on some. If you really want, you can sort of, when you're making this, rather than keeping the soap angled, just keep putting it back after each angle. But for me, I didn't mind. I thought I'll just let this be a free-forming soap. However it forms is the way I was going to do it, just to make it a bit more unique. And then, of course, I have my little embeds that I had pre-made already. They are also in cold process soap. I really don't like melt and pour. There's no reason for it, I guess, except for it sweats, and I just think it's a real pest, especially in Melbourne, Australia, where we go from, really hot to really cold, so it's just really awkward to use. But anyway, so I'm sure you can agree it looks gorgeous. And then, of course, this is the second one, so we'll cut those because I made 2 loaves of those. I did have a little bit extra left, so I decided to make these really cute little bars. I mean, aren't these adorable? So I thought these would be a really cute one, and we'll pop these on my site because I do have a section on my site, which is just bars of soap. But I don't sell them singularly. I sell them in groups of 3. So anyway, these ones here will go into a group of 3. And I might actually start making a few. Then I had a tiny bit left after that. So I thought I would show you these gorgeous little ones that I have actually made. These are just going to be little embeds. They're in little bowl forms. So I actually did get the silicone mould for these from Aussie Soap Supply. So I'll leave the link, and it's a really good one. The only thing I will tell you is I really do think it's a little big for the top, because if we pop this on here, that's about 1 inch wide, which is a standard bar, and you can see it's a little bit wide for that. But I actually think it'd be better if you made the soap, cut it, and then did the piping and popped that on the top. But like I said, it's, you know, just a choice. And I just thought, look, it was a bit of fun, because I mean, imagine how cute they would look with those just sitting on the top anyhow, with some piping and so on. So I think from here we got to cut the soap, because I'm sure you're dying to see what it looks like, just like me inside. And as I said, these are the extra ones that I did do yesterday, so I had enough to do all these. And if you don't have anything you want to do, or embeds or so on, you can also, look at me, I dropped it there. If you don't have those to do, you can also just save it for some soap dough. But that's totally up to you, whatever you prefer to do. So anyway, let's get going. I'll pop the camera down and we will actually do the cut, and I'm really excited to see what it looks like. So as you can see here, we do have the 2 loaves. So we're just going to get started, and I'm, like I said before, very excited to see where this one goes. So we will cut the first one. And for anyone that asks about my cutter, my husband actually made this. It's really big. It's a bit bulky, but I don't mind. So this is the end result. I mean, doesn't that look so cool? I'm really happy with that. And of course the colors will change a bit. They should brighten a little bit over time. So we'll cut a few so that we can see exactly how it's going to look. Now I do actually have my this particular cutter. I actually do have this set up to be exactly 1 inch wide. I know there are American terms for Aussies that are thinking, why am I doing that? But it's just a standard bar, I think, about 1 inch wide. So I thought I'll just leave it at that. And if you can see, that is my embed that I popped in the middle, which is just a little cloud. I thought it looked really cute, so I thought I'll just pop them in. The end ones won't have the cloud, only some of them will. But all the center ones will. But I might even do the end ones, and then they can actually be my samples, because I do give away quite a few samples as well. And as you can see, how cute. So I'll pop these ones here. I'll keep cutting them. I'll leave this rolling, and we'll pop some music on, and then you'll be able to see this whole bar, as well as going into the second one, because when you're doing 2, there's always a little bit of a difference in the bars.